I catalogued every class of digger in the Australian Army, and I'm going to present them to you in ranked order from best to worst. Our list begins with examples of highly desirable meta soldier builds, before sinking into the pits of degeneracy and despair, and meeting some truly ghastly NPCs found within the ranks of the military. Number 1. The Jet. This overpowered class is by all metrics the ideal soldier. This digger can shoot, lift, run, navigate, innovate, educate, communicate, motivate, is both street smart and bookwise, and has a sound mind for both strategic theory and the practical application of military tactics. The Jet usually has an impressive list of accolades and achievements to their name, and is almost universally praised by peers and superiors alike. As the hero unit of the battalion, everyone else knows who the Jet is, and either overtly or secretly wants to be just like them. Number 2. The Grey Man. The Grey Man is a stealth build who exists below the detection threshold. This digger either intentionally or by nature of their character avoids drawing needless attention. The Grey Man is often a satisfactory or even high-performing soldier, however their introverted traits may prevent them from shining above their peers. The Grey Man class is both a blessing and a curse, as they generally avoid the wrath of the chain of command, however their reserved nature can see solid performances overlooked. Number 3. The Genius. This class of digger dumped their stat points into intelligence, and is naturally bestowed with an above-average intellect or has a pre-army background in academia. The high-functioning mind of the genius is a valuable addition to any team, as their accelerated mathematical and spatial reasoning skills lend themselves well to practical problems. The genius often has a high level of accompanying emotional intelligence, providing them patience when faced with army foolishness or frivolous behaviour. As a downside, the analytical mind of the genius may not always excel in circumstances of hasty decision-making. Number 4. The Hillbilly. Every unit has one. The country bumpkin from a small town you can't even pronounce. The Hillbilly likely hasn't left their home state except to travel for recruit training, and in extreme cases has never laid eyes on the ocean. While potentially not being the most academically remarkable, the Hillbilly is gifted with the physical prowess exclusive to those raised on a farm. It's not conventional fitness per se, but unusual demonstrations of raw strength and muscular endurance shared only between country folk and people of determination. The Hillbilly is usually a valuable team member on account of their work ethic and endurance perk, but don't expect Machiavellian strategic aptitude in their section attack orders. Number 5. The Gigachad. The infuriatingly handsome digger who derives character strength from their Hollywood superstar good looks. Blessed with genetics rivaling those of a Greek god, their physical appearance makes them the envy of peers, leaves both men and women stun-locked, and provides whatever courting opportunities they desire. The Gigachad often also receives a boost to charisma, making them equally popular within the workforce as to the ladies in town. The Gigachad has good soldier skills, but with his attentions elsewhere, is often not maximising his full soldierly potential. Number 6. Cigarett BFA guy, an extremely specific character class who is granted a +10 stat buff to cardiovascular endurance, but only immediately after smoking. This digger is sometimes unremarkable, or merely adequate in most other parts of army routine, however has a mythical nicotine-triggered lung mutation that enhances aerobic capacity during the basic fitness assessment. Before the running component of this test, this digger will nonchalantly suck away on a cigarette before casually dominating the entire field in a science-defying demonstration of athletic performance. Number 7. The Mechanic. In a similar vein to the Hillbilly, the Mechanic is a digger who has a previous life spent cultivating military-adjacent skills. Be they either a qualified tradesman or a dedicated enthusiast, they invariably spend their free time repairing, upgrading, racing, talking about, or watching cars. Their mechanical aptitude is a desirable skill for vehicle-heavy units, and they are often equally adept at off-roading or vehicle recovery tasks. While a valuable specialist, the Mechanic is likely an administrative headache for their company sergeant major, as they likely have numerous dilapidated wrecks sitting on bricks in the on-base car parks or accommodation areas. Number 8. The Knife Guy. As you probably guessed, the Knife Guy has an obsession with bladed tools and other sharp cutlery. This character's preference for a melee loadout and passion for sharp objects is commendable. However, their laser focus on nothing but knives is often viewed with suspicion from their teammates. While combat knives are not a foreign concept to diggers, it's the oddly romantic sentiment towards knives and sheer quantity of blades in their custody that makes the Knife Guy a hit-or-miss addition to any section. Number 9. The Family Man. A usually older digger who enlisted later in life, or one who began pumping out kids at a young age. The Family Man class may vary in terms of performance output, as their selfless dedication to their wife and kids is either a benefit or detriment to their military service. The defining trait of the Family Man is that he will never be seen outside of work hours or at social events, often creating the conspiracy that said family doesn't even exist. Number 10. Adam Breaker. Wait, what? Hello. Hey. Hi.
Are you a motivated digger? Do you envy the marksmanship talent of the jet? And you need the CSRC Rifleman's Common Guide. Whether you're a Gigachad sniper or barracks-pulling gamer, this book is a perfect companion to the range or field. This guide is available to you as a high-resolution PDF document, meaning you can access it anytime on your device of choice, or be custom printed into posters, booklets, or pocket-sized to best fit your needs. So don't be a linger. Go to www.coralseco.com and get one today. That's www.coralseco.com.
Get yours now.
Number 10. The Gamer. Xbox, PlayStation, PC. Choose your weapon, it matters not. This digger will smoke you the world over from Rust to Rainbow Road. While gaming is now a more commonplace hobby for most in the army, for the gamer it's their entire personality. The gamer dedicates every ounce of their spare time to the hobby, and usually only leaves their accommodation to collect a pizza delivery. As a dopamine-addicted troglodyte, the gamer's obsession may impact their workplace performance, as they arrive sleep-deprived to morning parade after an all-nighter grinding XP in Azeroth. Number 11. The Caffeine Monster. This digger can be found perpetually clutching a can of Monster energy drink or takeaway coffee cup. This caffeine addiction likely started innocently as a daily takeaway latte, or perhaps as a mechanism to stay awake during recruit training. Regardless, somewhere along the line the Caffeine Monster developed a crippling dependence on the go juice. This creates a Jekyll and Hyde scenario, where in tactical circumstances devoid of coffee, the Caffeine Monster becomes a temperamental, shaky-handed beast who, driven wild by sinister headaches, will lash out at those around him in search of a fix. Number 12. The Lateral. The UK and Australia have a bilateral arrangement permitting cross-transfer between the nation's militaries. Given as Australian soldiers have sun and cash, and British soldiers have gloom and poverty, there are far more squaddies transferred to the Australian Army than Aussies moving to the UK. These transferred personnel are called Laterals, a label which can be both endearing or venomous. The token lateral transfer digger is unpredictable performance-wise, as while they may possess a wealth of knowledge from their UK experience, they may also be wont to incessantly and painfully moan about how much harder the soldiering experience was back in Dartmoor, Sennybridge, or whatever other grim training area they hail from. Number 13. Weird Medical Condition Guy. This digger suffers an uncommon and usually peculiar ailment that prevents them from performing to their full potential. They may have a decent soul or even be a capable soldier, but the nature of their condition and the permanent crippling effect sees them being placed on restrictive duties, prohibiting them from being a viable team member. Over a long enough time frame, they may triumph over their medical abnormality, or in some instances, are eventually medically discharged from the army. Number 14. The Sex Pest. The Sex Pest is a digger who, like the Gigachad, dedicates their free time and energy to courting as many females from the local population as possible. Unlike the Gigachad, however, their dating opportunities do not come easily, and their self-proclaimed success with the ladies is often met with skepticism from peers. They are prone to crass behaviour, both inside and outside the work environment, and will gleefully recount their romantic endeavours in vulgar detail to anyone who will listen. Number 15. The Povo. That's one digger who, for a variety of reasons, is perpetually broke. In some cases, this is due to a heart-wrenching situation which involves them financially supporting faraway family members. In others, however, it comes down to nothing more than smooth-brained financial choices, with a classic example being swindled into an obscenely high-interest finance contract by a slick used car salesman. This will eventually see the digger opting to live on base and, in a grotesque display of poverty, gain their daily sustenance from pilfered army ration packs. Number 16. The Eshay. An Eshay is a suburbanite youth prone to petty crime, loitering at bus stops and tagging trains. Global equivalents are the chavs of the UK or gopniks of Eastern Europe. Tradition says that each unit requires at least one of these delinquents, and despite being somewhat reformed by the military system, they elect to retain key traits from their personal life of criminality. Often the Eshay will be a short-term soldier, kicked out early for the consumption or sale of illicit narcotics, or completing their minimum service obligations before returning to the hoods of Western Sydney. Number 17. The Degenerate Gambler. A more sinister version of the Caffeine Monster, the Degenerate Gambler leads a life of hedonistic self-indulgent behaviours. Found lurking at the pokies of the nearest pub, this digger's vice is well known to his workmates, who are used to him sneaking away for a slap. Like a junkie, he will reappear to the group pleading with tears in his eyes for a 20, adamant that Queen of the Nile is about to hit a skits feach. Number 18. The Heatseeker. The antagonist to the Grey Man class, this digger entered service with a nerf to both stealth and luck stats, and try as they might, simply can't help getting in trouble. Some Heatseekers possess satisfactory soldierly traits, but simply find themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. Other Heatseekers have ingrained character flaws, and perpetually express poor judgment, leading to questionable decisions that make them a headache to their superiors. This sees the Heatseeker in constant disciplinary and administrative strife, as their propensity for splash damage makes them an undesirable team member to be around. Number 19. The Belltower. A reference to the Texas University shooter, the Belltower is a digger who displays violent tendencies, antisocial behaviour, or simply says strange things to those around him.
Just want you to stop saying odd shit.
This conduct leads to the assertion that the Belltower digger is one push away from committing a mass murder, and usually sees him ostracised by his peers. The Belltower digger is generally not trusted by others, leading to a short career lifespan in the military. Number 20. The Linger. Short for malingerer, this digger is renowned for faking or amplifying a medical condition or injury in order to avoid training activities such as field or other unpleasant routines such as guard duty. In the most egregious examples, the Linger will spend months on medical restrictions avoiding training and then mystically recover from their disorder as soon as an operational deployment is announced. The Linger class is viewed with extreme disdain by peers, who resent them for cruising down easy street while others are doing the hard yards. Until the next video, thank you for the gift of your time.